Modern people, we are very good at chillax. Just ancient people would have looked at a chillax person and say they're dying. They must be dying. That's very yogic. It's just simply very yogic. How are you going to get older by running away from old age?
Disrupt and Discuss. Please help us welcome the dynamic and soulful Cecily guest, better known as Yogi Cecily, a 30-year fitness and wellness powerhouse. She's a yoga educator, meditation guide, movement artist, and founder of Cecily's Yoga Retreats. This episode, we're going to be talking movement as medicine, aging with intention. Let's tap in, open up, and get free. Welcome, Yogi Cecily.
Hello, ladies and everybody. Hello. Thank you. I'm honored that you invited me, and I've watched the show. I've seen other guests. I think what you're doing is really incredible, especially as two Black women. We need to hear these voices more.
One of the things I wanted to start talking about is the different myths. Before I actually got to really know what yoga was, I got it mixed up between yoga versus meditation. I remember one of the classes you taught, and I can tell somebody had the same thought because they were so perplexed why they were sore in doing all of these different moves, when her thought was that they were going to come in and chill out on a Friday night.
One of the things that I actually love about yoga is that it is thoroughly holistic and human. So that's yoga. So when you go into yoga, yes, are you going to do meditation? Yes, because for your thoughts and for your emotions. That's meditation. Now, are you going to do breath work? Also, the postures. I like to think of the postures as a test. Touch your toes when you're 8, 18, 28, 38, 48, 50, 70. So each posture is a physical test, like the way you would test the resiliency of a bridge. Modern people, we are very good at chillax.
Right.
You could work a full day just sitting at your desk, and that you could travel hundreds of miles and you could get home and get some kind of entertainment and food just
sitting.
This ancient people would have looked at a chillax person and say they're dying. They must be dying. They haven't gotten off the sofa all day.
That's similar to one of the comments my grandmother would make when we would say, "Grandma, you're doing this. Why don't you rest?" "I'll rest when I'm dead." That was her response. So it kind of flowed in what you were saying because she was constantly moving and doing stuff.
Yeah. So I think people are a little bit shocked by some of the physical work. And all I would say to
I was.
People, and then also for modern people, the chillax is important too, because modern people, we tend to over worry. We can sit down on the sofa and be entertained, but at the same time, we have a lot of agitation, anger, worry, confusion. We're confused by our own emotions and things like that. So you can see how everything in yoga can really address everything. I have students who don't understand the chillax part. They come in the room and they're like, "Great, let's move." And I'm like, "Well, today we're just going to lie down." And then they're confused. So I would just say to people, think about the human condition. And then how are you going to work everything in the human condition? Emotions, thoughts, physical, bones and muscle, nutrition, and then of course spiritual aspects. So a lot of people get weirded out on the spiritual aspects. What ancient culture did not have spirituality?
I don't know of any that did not.
The moon was a mystery.
I'll get ready to say, you got the stars.
They worship
that was
everything.
your direction. Yes, exactly.
Volcanoes, wind, other animals, everything was a mystery. So these people already knew that something else was operating. Here we are, the human beings. So all of this is something else. Every ancient culture has spirituality. If it's coming from antiquity, it is us. It's like your ancestors created something for you. And now what you're saying is, I don't want that part. So you could be Christian and practice yoga. You could be any other faith and still practice yoga. Because the spirituality is built in because it's coming from antiquity.
I had asked this one person, "Hey, do you take yoga?" "Oh, no, I don't do that. That you're ushering in another deity." And I'm like, I was totally, maybe it was 5:00 in the morning. We were at Bible study, but it was just like, what? And maybe because it's speaking with you or learning the history of it, which is what I really liked about learning yoga with you, because I'm learning more than just yoga.
Because, where I'm mostly teaching heathen atheist tech people. So
they don't care. They don't ask.
Look, to their detriment, because then they won't even chant even a little bit. So now you have a person on the other hand is totally suspicious of any kind of spiritual formula, right? And then you have other people who are following a strict faith who are very suspicious. So again, this is why I love yoga, because yoga stands solidly in the middle. All right.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically saying that we are learning more about the physical world being made up of vibration. Yes,
Right.
Correct.
isn't this true?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Ancient people, so we don't understand. Ancient people, there's meaning.
Right.
There's
Right.
meaning, but it is not a word. It is a vibrational sound, which almost every human being would recognize as crying.
Yes.
You don't need to be told that that sound is crying. And you don't need to be told the sound of laughter. Isn't that interesting? It's very human.
Right.
So all
Right.
that these early people did was they just took the sounds and broke them down, waited. They say, well, we're just going to go for like the moon cycle, and we're just going to go, oh, all right, what did we get? Oh, 13 women had babies. Ooh, they would go write these things down.
Huh.
These were not, they weren't making things up. These were early scientists just using the tools that they had. And we now know in modern science about vibration. All human beings speak in vowels, A, E, A, O, U.
True.
So you don't have to get all weirded out about vowels that you already use. Now, are there mantras? Did Tina Turner chant? Oh, yes, she did. All right, those are words that have meanings. But even if you listen to it, oh, it's mostly vowels.
True. Yes.
Nam, no,
Well, when you break it down, you take
Right.
the mystique out of it for sure.
Thank you again for bringing me on as a guest, because what I try to do with people is take the mystique out of it.
Mhm.
Between the two of you, who feel like you're a good cook?
Me.
Great.
She's probably
great.
more than I could feed you. You won't starve.
Cook.
So when you're dealing with someone who can't cook, don't you feel like you're trying to take the mystery out of it?
Yes.
It's
Right.
like,
Trying to
look,
introduce
if
the
you could add more salt and sugar, and that is
Yeah.
why fast food tastes good. Fat, salt, sugar. Here we go. You know,
You are not
you
lying.
can take the mystery out of how food works, and that's
Right.
what I try to do with yoga. But see, again, and so that's what I love about yoga, is because that's just one part of it. And so
Absolutely.
you can heal yourself without those spiritual aspects. Totally.
So on the line of healing, now as we've gotten older, we're all in that same arena of menopause. So going back to ancient times, what was done, yoga speaking, but
That's
what would
right.
they do for something like that? Really, then versus now, besides us being able to take a pill, get a hot water bottle, open a window, close the window. But really, what would you do in the terms of yoga for that?
So that's a great question. So first of all, menopause, even in the modern, even in 2025, is still a mystery. And so, okay, so why would that be? So the reason why that is because the symptoms don't seem to be a problem. Hot flashes, just get a fan, just drink cold water. That doesn't seem to be a problem. High emotion, being emotive, but it doesn't seem to be a problem. Just go calm down and get yourself together. So
Yeah.
so emotions in menopause don't necessarily send you to the insane asylum. They don't necessarily, and then painful sex could be part of it as well. And so to men, that's not their problem. You know what I'm saying? So all right. So then also, if you're looking at ancient people, it's quite possible that no woman ever made it to menopause. So we have to
True.
Huh.
take a deep dive there, because if women didn't live past 50, they could have been thinking that the signs of menopause were just some part of dying, because you were probably going to die at 55. So why go
Oh,
about trying to
geez.
cure these symptoms?
Right. Right.
Like arthritis or dementia. It's probably some sign of old age. Why should we try to cure it? So again, especially as modern Black women, and women, I think, are really on the precipice of finally being able to care for ourselves. So we as women need to really observe and ask questions. When I started having hot flashes, I asked my female cousins, what did you do? And all of them had hysterectomies. They were like, I didn't have hot flashes. They all had. That's why we have to ask questions. And look, now in yoga, so the first thing that they would do in yoga is observe. And what I do for my hot flat, this is me, and I think exercise helps. When you exercise, you're used to being hot. You're actually used to being uncomfortably hot.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I started to realize that a hot flash only lasts about 5 minutes, and a HIIT class lasts 30 minutes.
I
Hot
can
yoga
endure
class
30.
lasts forever. Trust me. I've been in it.
So for me, and this is where the meditation is key, I take the 5 minutes and I try to calm myself down, try to be calm. And I just say, this is 5 minutes of being physically uncomfortable. And
Okay.
yeah, in about 5 minutes, it's over. I certainly wear more loose clothing now. Even when I teach yoga, and now I understand why my mom didn't want to wear bras and stuff. And I cannot wear Lululemon anymore. I can't have anything hugging tight
Just
on me.
holding
Now,
the girls tight.
yeah, if you go to India, places like this, Africa, even women don't wear tight things. And so now I'm
Right.
like, aha, mature women don't wear anything tight. No, just let it all hang out. Okay, interesting. So they
So
would have
when do you
observed.
think, oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I didn't mean to cut you
no,
off. With
no, go
regards
ahead.
to the hot flashes, because I haven't, let me, do I knock on something?
Yeah, don't
I haven't
lie.
experienced hot flashes yet. Let me knock on something. And so I'm listening. I'm like, is there anything other than if I were to experience hot flashes? Is there anything? I know you were saying maybe it's because I do saunas a lot. I do sit in the sauna. I enjoy a sauna for like 30 minutes. It calms me down. So maybe that's why I don't experience it.
It's a vascular condition in the veins of the skin, and it has to do with your body not understanding temperature anymore,
Hmm.
and your skin. So hormone therapy. I also listened to a really good Atia, the book Outlive. Don't look at my booty. Okay, hold on.
All right.
Okay.
So this book,
Don't look. YouTube, don't look. Outlive the science, art, and longevity. Okay. Outlive the
so
science
the
and the art of longevity.
Yeah, so the book is so-so. The book is so-so, but he has really good podcasts. And he has a lot of women on there. And there's
Mhm.
some women doctors saying that for whatever reason, they told women don't do hormone therapy because it will induce cancer.
Mm.
And it's just simply not true. And this is what I mean. Women are at this place now where we have enough women doctors. There was just all of this labeling around menopause therapy where we were convinced not to do it. I think this
Hmm.
is the perfect time to really look into it. Like before menopause hits you, look into all the science of it. There are topical creams that you
Hmm.
can actually put in your vajayjay, and it will
Right.
help
The
you
flick
with
of the wrist is what got me, but okay. All right.
yes, and then there are things that you can also put on the wrist, on the
Right,
ankles.
right.
Right? There's all this stuff. So what I would say to women is to look into that, but then also definitely exercise. Get used
Right.
to being hot. Get used to getting your anger out. Like when you're doing a HIIT class of running, there's
Right.
adrenaline, there's other chemicals that need to
Yes.
be balanced with the offset of hormones.
Yes.
Lifting weights, testosterone. So I still lift. And also yoga. That's why I like yoga. It has a strong stuff in yoga, arm balances, things like that. So that's where yoga fits in. And I think what early yogis would have done pretty much is if you just have disturbia, any kind of disturbia, like meditate. They really would say, sit yourself down, calm down, focus on it. Don't focus away from it. So if you're having a hot flash, focus on it.
Don't
And
focus
then
away from it.
don't focus away, focus on it. And what I learned from focusing on it is it doesn't last more than 5 minutes. So if I'm in Walmart or someplace with my dad and I'm having a hot flash, I'm like, that's what it is. I don't try to get rid of it.
You just let it, the
You
natural
embrace it.
process.
That's
Yeah.
very yogic. It's just simply
Huh.
very yogic. How are you going to get older by running away from old age? See, like we were talking
I like
about, and Kim knows, she talks about when I'd say, don't sit down to put your socks on. We were talking about
that.
that
Right.
earlier. And I will tell people when you're in your 30s and 40s, you have to know that when you're 80 and 90, you're going to struggle to put your socks and your underwear on. You're going to struggle wiping yourself. You're going to struggle sitting on the toilet and wiping yourself. May I recommend you practice that now? Practice sitting over the toilet, squatting, whatever,
Squatting.
go however you're gonna do it.
Now we're looking at you. Okay, there we go.
But in a very yogic way, they were trying to solve aging. They were trying to solve healing, not run away from it. If it wasn't
Right.
killing you, you want to observe it very deeply. If you're a woman and you're having stress, hormones, emotional issues, the first thing you have to be aware, and you actually have to ask yourself, how old am I? Oh, I'm 53. I wonder, is this menopause? I wonder, could this be menopause?
Yeah.
Don't wait until you're 63 and spend 10 years thinking you're just having emotional problems and letting the
Wow.
people around you tell you you're having emotional problems.
Convincing you of that. Oh, God.
Right.
It's all in your head.
You have perimenopause, premenopause, you can start in your 40s.
This is
So I think one of the things that ancient people did is try to not have too many buckets of problems, right? So
Hmm.
a problem is either
Hmm.
digestion, the food that goes in and the poop that comes out, and then the in between,
it's that
digestion.
gut health.
Digestion.
Another problem would be lungs. And in yoga, they don't really believe like cardio. They don't really believe in cardio. They believe
Hmm.
that the heart needs to be elevated mildly, purposefully. So therefore, the sun salutes and some of the movements.
Mhm.
Okay.
but not high intensity intervals. So this is a little bit different than Western. Yes, you need to elevate it, but they didn't really think of the heart the way we do in the West. So you have breathing and what we call pranayama. And a lot of people moving away from the term pranayama, but I would just remind people that the word prana means energy. And these people recognize that breathing is our source. Breathing is our life source. If a person's not breathing, they're dead. Is in the breath, somewhere in the breathing. You can go several days without eating. So
Right.
while it's true we need to eat, it is not life force. Right?
Correct.
Breathing.
Breathing.
So there's a lot of breathing. And anybody listening, if you want to learn, I want to teach you. Find me. Can I just do my stuff? I'm Instagram.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
_Yogi Instagram, Yogi Cecily YouTube, Cecily's Yoga Retreats. If
And
you
all this
want
will
to
be
learn
in the
that, I want to
description
teach
of
you
this video.
so that you, yeah, great. So that you have the menu of what to work on. Just like cooking, right? We're talking about cooking. Cooking, you need the menus, you need the cookbooks. Not just how do I do it? You need the whole cookbooks for the whole idea of it. So cooking. So pranayama. So then also some of the things in healing, again, it's meditation. So we think of meditation as sitting quietly. Also what I'm going to call directed meditation and or visualization and or positive reinforcement. Okay. So
Okay.
positive reinforcement goes something like this, like repeating, my body is strong. I make my body strong every day. My liver. Okay. So then you go, ideally, you go into all of the areas. My eyes are strong. My liver is strong, so forth and so on. Now people say, well, that wouldn't work. And I say, you know what? Ask your liver as if your liver was another person. And what you're saying is that your liver can't hear you. See, so the early yogi people would say, how is it going to work if you don't even know the constituent parts of yourself? If you don't even speak to the constituent parts, bones, liver, kidney. I ask students all the time, where are your kidneys? Where's your liver? Is your heart more to the left or to the right? How many ribs do you have? How do your eyes work? And people don't know. People don't know how their own body works. People don't know how to cook.
People don't know how to cook.
Because they don't know a parsnip from a carrot. So look the same, but they're not the same.
Exactly.
So this is how yogis would approach healing. Dear ladies, the first thing that they would say is, yes, get an anatomy book, just an anatomy book. Get an anatomy chart and put it up on your mirror in your bathroom and stand there before you jump in the shower. And we need more Black lady anatomy drawings with a Black woman, not some white man, so that we can look at something, ask these areas to be healthy. Now, then we have to look at our own pee, and we have to look at our own poop. We have to be on a schedule. Our eating on a schedule, our pooping should be on a schedule, our sleep should be on a schedule. So again, what early people would look like, well, if things aren't on a schedule, I can't even evaluate your health. The first thing an early yogi is going to do is put everything on a schedule. And then they're going to look at how you do on that schedule. If food goes in and the poop doesn't come out, then something's blocking.
Absolutely.
And so forth and so on. It's not too mystical. Now, then also we have something in yoga called Ayurveda.
Yes.
We mentioned it in one of the past episodes.
It's a little anecdotal. However, I would recommend people try it before they get ill. This is the main problem. People want to go back into antiquity after they're ill. You can't wait until you're hungry to know how to make a meal. Okay, my God, I'm hungry now. What's this?
And if you're hungry, don't go grocery shopping because your grocery shopping list is what?
To answer your questions, that's how they would approach it. Ayurveda, things on a schedule, sleep habit, breathing, attention. So one of the reasons that they would give you a repeated mantra, like what Tina Turner used to do, is that's attention. And if you ever hear the recordings of her doing it, 45 minutes, well, you can't do it if you don't have breath, and you can't do it if you can't pay attention. If you can't keep your attention focused. It doesn't have to be that mantra. You can say, I want peanut butter and jelly. 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 If you're trying to eat better, I will eat broccoli. I will eat broccoli. I will, for 45 minutes, you're going to go to the store. You're going to get the broccoli. You're going to eat it.
Absolutely.
Because you put your mind on it for 45 minutes repeating. That is how early yogis would do it.